Hello there, this is a video that's going to teach you how to read tab for ukulele, short for tablature. Now you might have seen ukulele music presented like this in the past. Here we've got standard notation, which is music that you'd be able to read for any instrument that uses the treble clef, for example the recorder, and then underneath you've got these numbers and lines that are the tablature. Now this is specific to instruments that have 4 strings and frets, like the ukulele, and things like the mandolin as well. This is a nice, easy, maybe slightly more intuitive way of reading music for the ukulele, because it shows us which note we're playing and also on which string that is, and it tells us what position our left hand is in as well, which is great. So how do we read it? Well, first of all, have a look at this section here of blank tab. So as you can see, that's a series of 4 horizontal lines stacked on top of each other, going across the page, left to right, and they represent, of course, the 4 strings of the ukulele. Now let's get this out of the way early. The most important thing that you have to remember, and perhaps the trickiest thing about tab, is that it's written upside down. So when you see a note or a number written on the top line, that means you're going to play what is physically the bottom string, the string closest to the floor. Here's an example, a 0 written on the top line of the tab. So there's only one number written here on one line. That means we're only going to play one string, and like I said, it's upside down. So the fact that it's written on the top line means that we're going to find the bottom string with your thumb, that's the string that plays a note A, and play that on its own. So it should sound just like that. Nice and easy, hopefully, early on. A 0 is good news for us, by the way, because it means that all we do is play what we call the open string. The string as it sounds naturally after it's been tuned, and we're not pressing any of these frets with our left hand here. Have a look at the next note here. It's a note on one of the middle strings, and these can be slightly trickier to read and get your head around, just because they're in the middle of the tab. This one's on the bottom middle line. It's another 0, which means good news for us. The bottom middle line, remember, we're in upside down land, so we're going to find the top middle string, the C string. Here it is, and it sounds like this. Of course. There it is. So we've got 2 notes so far. I think the best way to move forward is going to be to try and learn a simple melody, a simple tune. Let's have a look at the first 4 notes of this tune that we're going to learn. Here they are. Look at this sequence of notes. We've got 4 notes, and as I said, we're reading left to right, just like reading words on a page. The first note we're going to play, hey, we've already played this one. It's a 0 on the top line. That means we're going to play an open A string, the bottom string. Easy, we've got this. The second note, we've moved all the way down to the bottom line of the tab. It's another 0. Good news, we already know zeros. We're going to play the top string of the ukulele, the one closest to the ceiling or your face or your nose, whatever you find easiest to remember. It's the G string. Now the next note, you can see we've got something slightly different. It's one of our middle strings. Now your first job, whenever you see any number on tab, is going to be to work out which string you're playing, and obviously you do that by seeing which line it's written on. This one's written on the top middle line, so of course, upside down as we are, we're going to play the bottom middle string. But it's not a 0, is it? So, help, what do we do? All it means is we're going to find something with our left hand. We're going to bring this left hand, activate this left hand, bring it into action. And we're going to find on that same string, the bottom middle string, not the 2nd or the 3rd or the 4th fret, but the 1st fret. That's what the number 1 means. If it was a number 2, we'd be here. 3, we'd be here. 4, we'd be here on the 4th fret, and so on. So we're going to press inside that 1st fret of the E string to give us the note F, and it's going to sound like this as we play. Okay, and you can see after this the 4th note is back on the bottom line, meaning the top string, and it's a 0. Hooray. Really easy. So pause the video here perhaps and have a go at playing those 4 notes in sequence. Well done, that was perfect. Let's move on. Maybe you've worked out then what the tune is that we're playing. We've played the very beginning of Mary Had a Little Lamb. Here's the full version. we're going to take this a section at a time. You can see the music is divided up by these vertical lines called bar lines into these different sections called bars. We've played the first bar already, that's the first 4 notes inside that sort of box at the beginning. Have a look at the second bar. This has only got 3 notes in it, and, wouldn't you know it, it's 3 very easy notes. 3 zeros written on the top line, meaning the bottom string. That means we're just going to play that same note 3 times in a row, one after the other. Really easy. The third bar, same kind of thing. It's a different note, but it's the same technique. We're going to play the top string, open, 3 times. Brilliant. Brilliantly easy. The fourth bar, things get a tiny bit trickier, but hopefully you can work this out along with me. The first note here is a 0, and it's back on that top line, the bottom string. Then look, we've got 2 3s. Now, those are written on the same line, of course, as the 0, and that means the same string is going to be played 3 times with this thumb. But 2 of those notes sound different. That's because we're going to find on that string the, let me come closer, the 1, 2, 3, the 3rd fret on that bottom string, which sounds like this when it's played. It's a note C. You've put your finger there before to play a C chord, I'm sure. And we play that twice. So what we're going to get in this bar is an open string, 0, then 2 notes on the 3rd fret. Right then. Have a look at the rest of Mary Had a Little Lamb. As you can see, the second half of this piece only has notes that we've already played. So hopefully this is something that you can work out. If you go to my website, ukesup.com, then there's a page for chords and tabs. Hopefully the link for that is flying around my head somewhere as I speak. Click on that link and you can go to this page. You can download the tab for Mary Had a Little Lamb that I've arranged with exactly the same notes that we've just learned. So what I'll do now is I'll leave you with the chance to play along with the whole piece, Mary Had a Little Lamb, along with the video, and I'll say goodbye now. So happy practicing. I'll see you next time. Here's Mary Had a Little Lamb.